Alrighty, Jessica Paxton back with you on a Monday afternoon. Joining me now in the Kim Radio studios is folk singer-songwriter David Ullman, a recent transplant to not only Northfield but to the Twin Cities as well. He moved here a couple of months ago with his wife from Cleveland, Ohio. He has quite a following in Ohio, probably not yet all that well known here in Northfield, but he's got a gig coming up this Sunday up in the Twin Cities at the Red Sea on Cedar Avenue on the west bank of the U of M campus. So before too long, I can pretty much guarantee that David Ullman will be another name that folks will be buzzing about on the Minnesota music scene. David, welcome.
Thank you for
Thank you for being here. I'm so pleased that you're here because you and I, or I should say I had the good fortune of meeting you when you were first planning to move to Northfield, and somehow we got onto the topic of music and found that we had this shared passion, and then I found out that you were yourself a singer-songwriter, and now here you are, finally
Indeed.
in the studio, getting ready to demonstrate your chops, if that makes any sense. So you have a new album out entitled Light the Dark, which I know, and this is just interesting to me because, again, you're here in Northfield, but like I said, you moved here from Cleveland, have a strong following in Cleveland, and you've got a CD release party, or I should say an album release party, later this month in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. So that must be kind of weird to have, all your fans, or at least, the fans that you've been performing for the last few years, thousands of miles away. And here you are here in Northfield. Thank goodness for radio. Thank goodness for streaming online at KYMNradio.net.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, and I was going to say, getting back to when I said album release versus CD release, you might want to talk a little bit about the fact that not only do you have throngs of rabid fans in Cleveland, but you're a purist when it comes to releasing
medium,
music.
The medium. This new record is coming out as a record, as an LP, 12-inch vinyl, and then also it comes with a CD, and of course it'll be available all the usual places online. Starting tomorrow, December 4th. And then the show you mentioned in Cleveland is at this place called Blue Arrow Records. And they carry a little bit of old books, but mostly it's exclusively LPs.
Very cool.
And it's a beautiful, large space. It's probably as large as the station area here. And the floor, instead of being tiled with, vinyl linoleum or something.
Sure,
it's actual vinyl LP covers.
No way, seriously?
It's one of the best record stores I've ever been to, and they have a little stage in the corner. So
very cool. I wish Northfield had not only a cool record store, but how great to have a space that is obviously, has that performance space, but is also, a tribute to, because I feel like musicians really appreciate vinyl, especially in particular, and how it's almost like a music museum to be performing in a space like that.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you've got the gig on Sunday here in the Twin Cities.
Yes.
The official release is at the end of the month in Cleveland, but like you said, it's actually released officially tomorrow.
Yeah, the 22nd in Cleveland is kind of more like just a party and a celebration.
We miss you, David. Yeah. Why did you leave us?
Perhaps, yeah.
Come back to Cleveland.
Yeah, it's a little, it's become kind of a tradition since I've released my first album for me to have a show, kind of an event type show around that time of the year when people are home for the holidays and such. And for the last few years prior to this, it was an evening with the Ullmans, and my family would perform with me. So this is much different in that it's the people that play on the record will perform with me, but we're not going to plug in or anything. It's more of a party, kind of a jam than an official gig. But the record comes out tomorrow and is available. You can order it physically or digitally from Amazon or from my site, fulfilled through Topspin, and I'll have a Bandcamp page and all that stuff.
Fantastic.
iTunes, I think, but that might be lagging a little bit.
Okay. Well, and we should let people know it's David Ullman, not Ullman, which I might have said, but so Ullman.
Yes.
And certainly, folks, if you like what you hear, and I'm sure you will, you can check out his website at David Ullman, Ullman KYMN.net. Why don't we hear something off the forthcoming album, and then we can chat a bit afterwards as well. Again, I'm joined this afternoon by singer-songwriter David Ullman, who just moved to the Twin Cities a few months ago and releases his latest album tomorrow entitled Light the Dark. Here he is, David Ullman on Kim Radio.
Dark clouds cut through the sky, and the night starts to bleed into day. You're off down a one-way road, and all the signs say Jesus saves. Where you come from is gone, you can't go back. The train is taking off, it's tearing up the track. Tried to move on, but it held you back. It cannot be denied. It's the blood that's wise. Running away from what you don't believe, rhymes and raving that you are not clean, with a sharp tongue through jagged teeth, shouting you reckon that you've been redeemed, with a tear in his throat and the devil in his eye. He's preaching the church of Jesus Christ without Christ. Tried to move on, but the blood inside cannot be denied. It's the blood that's wise. A martyr lying for the truth, a soldier dying in a preacher's suit, his barbed wire heart breaking before your eyes. He's paying a price for having blood that's wise. He's haunted by a man leaping from limb to limb. In the forest of his mind, he can no longer pretend. There's no end in sight, no bottom to his eyes. He's walking on rocks toward a pinprick of light, bleeding blood, that's why. Blood that's wise. Open up your eyes. It's the blood that's wise. Open up your eyes. Wise. Blood that's wise. Open up your eyes.
All right. Singer-songwriter David Ullman joining me live today in the studio. That is a track called Wise Blood off his latest album, officially coming out tomorrow. It's entitled Light the Dark. And I have to tell you, David, that I've been kind of cracking up a little bit because in getting ready for your appearance this afternoon, I was looking on your website and you're referred to as scruffy and furrow-browed. Yes. And I would know, I mean, granted, we're on the radio, people can't see you, but I would not use either of those adjectives to describe you. But I thought that was kind of funny.
That has a bit more to do with like the actual music itself. You'll find me doing this.
Well, I was going to say, definitely, I had watched some videos of some performances by you online, and very pretty. That was sort of the word that came to mind. Were really, really beautiful, like really beautiful guitar playing, really beautiful vocals. But I do agree that this latest album seems to have a lot more sort of, I don't want to say anger, but there's some stuff going on there. But, you know, it's a little more forceful, perhaps, if that's the right word. I don't know how you'd describe that.
I definitely, there's some angry songs on it, and I definitely am one of those songwriters who picks up pen and guitar when they're feeling upset about something.
Well, it's good to have an outlet like that.
Yeah. So I've been saying recently that I don't sing sad songs because I feel sad all the time. I write and sing sad songs to kind of get it out of my system and get happy. So.
Sure. Well, and I think that's why even for audiences, you know, there's that sort of therapeutic experience that we have when we listen to music that we really, you know, sad songs do make us feel better. Happy songs do make us feel better. You know, I love a tune that you can sort of feel that anger and that frustration that perhaps the musician was trying to work through. Mm-hmm. And even though I didn't maybe have that same exact experience, it's sort of cathartic to have a similar experience when you know, feel that kind of, that's rock, man. That's rock and roll. Very cool. Well, and again, I love that as a purist, someone who appreciates the different dimension of sound that you can create by recording analog, recording an album on vinyl versus a CD. Although I love that you included sort of a token CD
you gotta
in the
have
release, because everybody. Well, it's kind of funny because, you know, CDs are becoming obsolete. Who would have thunk? But that was really lovely. That was really great. So I know I keep saying this is your forthcoming album. This is number.
It's officially, I would say, number 2, I guess.
Okay,
but
very cool.
I'm one of those guys that grew up buying like import CDs with extra tracks. So I made singles, CD singles. So this is probably like my 5th release if you count stuff like that.
Sure. Well, and especially for people out there that are listening, because we are streaming this live. So fans of yours in Ohio that are thinking, dude, this isn't your second release. Like I've got everything. I've got everything you've put out from day one. Well, very, very, very cool. So you've got the gig Sunday at the Red Sea on Cedar Avenue. And just to let folks know who are listening that are actually here in the Twin Cities, it's this Sunday, December 9th. It's actually a showcase of musicians featuring David Ullman, the Avenue Army, Amanda Rundquist, another name familiar to audiences here in Northfield, and also Cameron J. Music kicks off at 5:30 and goes into the evening. Again, that's this Sunday at the Red Sea, located at 320 Cedar Avenue in Minneapolis. You've got the official release in Cleveland at the Blue Arrow. The Blue Arrow in Cleveland, and then we've got you booked in Northfield. I think in April.
Absolutely.
I think April was the soonest we could sneak you in at the Tavern Lounge, but it'll be great to have you perform for Northfield audiences as well. Can I get you to do another track?
Oh, sure.
All right. Again, I'm joined in studio this afternoon by David Ullman, very well known throughout the Midwest. Is Ohio Midwest? I feel like I'm really losing my geographical edge here.
People do say that, but I don't know.
I think of Minnesota as Midwest, and so but a name well known in
the edge of the Midwest.
A name well known in other states, soon to be well known in this state as well. Let's leave it at that. Here he is, David Ullman on Kim Radio.
Want to start, but where to begin?